If you logged out of your Instagram, something would happen, a glitch, anything possible, you could lose that very easily, right? So that's a bonus.
For sure. I would say that definitely is a huge benefit, having it like out of the drafts and ready to go.
I know I've run into that issue where I've lost so much batch content and I'm like, what is the point of this?
Who hasn't at this point?
Right? You're like, oh,
it's been asked for so long, and it's like, wait, they actually listened. They actually gave us the ability to schedule reels. We're going to go through all of the nitty-gritty details, the good, the bad. We have two amazing individuals joining us on today's IG Live. We know as business owners that sometimes it can get hectic. You have so much to do with so little time. And that's why we're going to be talking about trying to take advantage of this new feature that Instagram has allowed for us to just kind of capitalize on. Scheduling Instagram Reels. We've asked for it. It's here. Is it all good? Are there some bad aspects to it that we haven't really considered, or maybe Instagram hasn't informed us of it yet? We're going to talk about it all right now. And it might sound like a simple question, my first one, but what is Instagram scheduling?
So just the ability to, a lot of people in the past know of or have tried how you can schedule your carousels, your picture infographics. There's a lot of different apps that you can do that with. Now schedule your reels as well, which is brand new. Before you were only able to do those static images, and to be able to now go in and pre-schedule out your reels so that if you wanted it to post today at 12:30, it would already be in there, have everything organized and your caption written out, your text, all the things, and then you can just have it scheduled to actually go live for you at that time.
Leanne, if I'm not mistaken, you've actually used Instagram scheduling reels before, right?
yeah, so I did it once. It was more of a trial run for me to see if it would actually help, make a difference, or if it was just a complete bust.
Well, I have attempted to try it out on one of my other hobby accounts, and unfortunately, it wasn't successful. And there were some things that I've learned because of why it wasn't successful on that other account. But we obviously know that there are good parts to it, and there are benefits to using Instagram Reels being scheduled. If you guys just wanted to kind of go off the top, like what are some of the benefits that we as content creators, busy business owners, could benefit from using Instagram schedules?
So a lot of people were told, for the longest time to batch their content and batching it on Instagram, so saving it as a draft form. Now, a lot of issues that would run into that, well, main one would be you would lose that content. If you logged out of your Instagram, something would happen, a glitch, anything possible, you could lose that very easily. So the benefit of pre-scheduling these is exactly that. You wouldn't be losing your content, right? So that's a bonus. I know I've run into that issue where I've lost so much batch content and I'm like, what is the point of this?
Who hasn't at this point?
Right? You're like, oh, frustrating.
For sure. I would say that definitely is a huge benefit, having it like out of the drafts and ready to go, for sure. I would also say, just saving time. So there's people who know like your best posting schedule time is between maybe 8:30 and 9 a.m. And you're like, well, I literally can. I'm on a call at that time, or I'm driving at that time, or, I'm working my other job at that time. You're not able to post at your best time. Now you have this opportunity to test out, okay, so is it going to be better for me to pre-schedule and use Reels that way at that time? Or is my reach actually still going to be okay? Maybe even better, just at a different time, maybe the second best time, but manually posting it. So it gives more freedom and flexibility to the account owner.
I like the fact that you said freedom. And it's something sometimes that you can't put a price on, especially when it's in regards to time, because when you're trying to actually, and you might have like tons of clients that you're posting for, or even just yourself, and you have like so many reels to put out there. You literally, before Instagram scheduling, you had to be on the phone at a certain time. If your audience was peaking maybe in a different country at like 3 a.m. in the morning for you, but at different times, you would have to be up at that point in time. You're 3 o'clock in the morning, you don't know what you're doing, sleepy, and you're posting reels.
That's
so. Well, yeah, and I know a lot of people that are doing that. They're waking up early, they set that alarm, get up early just to post it real quick, and then you go back to bed. That freedom, that time is definitely a major benefit. One of the other benefits in regards to it is, I think in a weird way, it kind of allows us to be consistent with the look and feel, because if you're able to kind of batch you're able to actually create a consistency and an aesthetic that really flows throughout each reel. And it's a form of marketing and branding that you could really emphasize on if you had to do it ahead of time, rather than doing it in the crunch, at the moment.
I totally can see that being beneficial to be able to, like, you're sitting down at one time, so things will be consistent throughout.
Exactly.
Well, my next question now is in regards to, now that we know the benefits of IG Reel scheduling, how do we actually get to schedule? Because there are certain requirements, in a way, you could say, that you might need in regards to scheduling a reel.
So it would be honestly the exact same steps you take as to pre-scheduling on the planner on Facebook. So it's no different. The only difference is instead of uploading a photo, you're uploading a video, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the same thing, caption, hashtag, everything is still the same, but it's just that portion that would change.
There's one major difference that I've noticed: the fact that you have to do it off of Instagram. You don't necessarily do it on Instagram per se. No. You do it on a third-party app. Flick, which I use Flick. I love Flick, and they've just announced that you can schedule on Reels. Hootsuite, if I'm not mistaken, I think you use Metrical. Meg?
Yeah.
There's also Later.
Later's another big one. A lot of these third-party apps, Instagram has given them access to what they call their API, application programming interface. And pretty much Instagram has given them authority or access to certain information.
Yeah.
And that information is in regards to Reels. Unfortunately, you kind of have to pay for these, but there is one way that you can get it for free. And that's if you use Meta's Creator Studio. They are not charging compared to any of the other third-party apps that I just listed. Now, with any new feature, any new product, we discussed the benefits. It has lots of great benefits, but there sometimes can be considered drawbacks. What is one major aspect of it that you're not too sure about that could be a drawback?
Having it glitch, because it is that third-party app. So you have to rely on the connection that app is having with Instagram, or the fact that Instagram glitches all the time anyways. It just builds on top of that. But the ability that it might glitch, and if you're not on the app posting it, you're probably not able to actually check right away either. Hey, did it work okay? So you may not know right away. Plus, I do enjoy just being on the app at that time to be active. And when you're using that third-party app, you're not actually on the app. You're allowing it to post for you. So
those are some great points that it makes a lot of sense, especially if you're running a business. And I think that's one other aspect too. If I'm not mistaken, you have to have a business account, not a creator's account, correct?
Yes, you do.
And
definitely do.
That's what I learned the hard way. That was my failure, because when I set it up, that was not a business account. It was a creator's account. So when I went through the entire process of posting it, as you described, Leanne, when I got to the point of hitting post, it was like, you're denied. You're not going to be able to post this. You need to switch your account. It makes you now have to consider, if real scheduling is that important to you, do you want to switch your account from creator or personal to now business? Because that's the only type of account that gives you access to it.
Which is so negative. It's so negative. I just want to put that in there, because you're limited to the music you choose, guys. It's brutal.
That's interesting. They usually favor creators so much. So I think that's very weird that they would do that.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the logic is behind that. With all of that out of the way now, we spoke about the benefits, we spoke about the drawbacks of Instagram Reels. I want to know your final thoughts, whether through experience or not, or just fears. What are your final thoughts on Instagram given access to this feature, and would you recommend others to use it?
Final thoughts would be, I think it's incredible. I think it has a long ways to go to make it more seamless and more accessible for people. But ultimately, I think they're headed in the right direction of giving people this flexibility and this freedom to be able to run your business or to be able to create more content consistently. I think they're on the right path. They just need some work to make it better for everybody.
I want to take a moment to say, you just described every Instagram feature. Like every feature is great, but they always need a little bit more work. And I agree with you. What about your thoughts, Leanne?
I am 100% in agreement with Meg. I for sure agree. Like, there's tons of benefits to it. Obviously, there's going to be some downfalls, but that comes with, anything that's new that that gets developed and pushed out there. So it takes time before it gets better, right? So hopefully over time, the feature will be like pro and everything will be good. And yeah, but for now, I think it is beneficial to have for sure.
Yeah, I agree with the both of you. I think it is a great feature that, thankfully, there's so many features that we asked of Instagram, and sometimes it goes on deaf ears, but this one they've actually listened to. I was very surprised that they did it because I thought they would have wanted to keep that to themselves. And even if they did it, I thought they would have did it only on Instagram. But surprisingly, they did it only through third-party apps. You could do it through Creator Studio. But I do agree with you guys. It's a great benefit to have, especially if you want to make the most of your time in regards to getting content out there, but not having to actually be up or at your phone at the time when the content needs to go out. So I think it's worth enough to experiment with. It's particularly, obviously, if you have a business account. But I think it's definitely something to try out, see if it works for you, and then maybe you can work it into your content strategy. But that's what we think. I want to know from you guys that are watching, what do you guys think about Instagram Reels scheduling? Go ahead and sound off in the comments. Do you guys think it's a good idea? Do you think it's bad? Have you had a bad experience, or are you currently using it in your content strategy? We would love to know. Now, if you got any value from that conversation, you know what to do. Hit the like button, smash the subscribe button, and make sure to ring that notification bell while you're at it. Now that you know all about Instagram Reels scheduling, let's take it up a notch and learn how to create top performing Reels to make them go viral. Check out the video that's on the screen, and I'll see you there.